Dr. Oriana Skylar Mastro, Center Fellow at Stanford University and the American Enterprise Institute, joining me right now, author of the book, The Costs of Conversation, Obstacles to Peace Talks in Wartime. Dr. Mastro, thank you for being with us. I know you just recently visited Taiwan, so obviously that was a point of contention with Speaker Pelosi and other U.S. dignitaries. But how concerned is Taiwan about China's no-limits partnership with Russia as the invasion of Ukraine continues?
Honestly, Taiwan is extremely concerned about a possible invasion and some sort of use of military means against the island, as many are in the United States. However, the Russian role is minimized, hasn't really been brought up. And this is problematic because Russia and China are engaging in significant military activities together. They're not going to fight together in a traditional alliance sense, but Russia is helping China build up its military, providing it with advanced weapon systems, training, and they're doing some types of coordination, whether it's intel sharing or supporting each other's satellites and other things that are used in warfare that could really help China improve its capabilities against the island.
What's the likelihood that China would actually do anything on the ground, or militarily or otherwise, with Taiwan?
I think the likelihood is quite high, and it goes higher depending on the timeline you're saying. If you ask me in the next year, unless Taiwan does something like declare independence, I would put the likelihood at close to 0%, precisely because Xi Jinping has some political goals at this point to consolidate his third term. But after that, 2025 to 2027, I think it's more than half likely. We're looking at a 60% chance that China will use force to finally end what it sees as decades-long civil war.
Quite a statement, too, for Xi Jinping to meet with Vladimir Putin on the trip that would be his first out of the country since the pandemic, which has been years now. What should we be looking for?
What I find very interesting about this trip is that there's no mention of it in Chinese official media. This suggests to me that they're extremely sensitive about it, potentially because they think Vladimir Putin is somewhat unpredictable. I think the Chinese want a read on the path forward in Ukraine. They aren't happy with how the war is going. They're not happy with how it's dragging on, and they want to know what Russia's plan is. So I think we'll look for certain statements that suggest that China continues to be supportive of Russia, even in the face of, this huge black eye that they've had in Ukraine. And I'll also be looking at the type of coverage that they're using domestically, because if, again, they don't even mention this meeting, they don't say anything about it, we'll know that whatever they're doing is for us, for foreign audiences, but that they're trying to keep the relationship minimized at home.
Interesting. But yet the world is so connected. Obviously, China sometimes has a problem with, or not a problem, but is limited in its information sharing. But Dr. Mastro, thank you. We'll continue to watch what happens between Putin and Xi Jinping.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.